Hello, and welcome to today's edition of Caddy's Corner. Don't worry, this one's not all going to be Phil. Hi, it's Saturday, and I am here to figure out. There we go, got the unicorn in. Today, I am going to talk about trauma, but not the traumatic part, the therapy part. When I had my back was blown out, and I was working with Dr. Mike McIntyre, my chiropractor, and he was integral in my healing in those days. I was on the road to recovery, went to a wedding in North Carolina. Happy anniversary, Kim and Kevin. And I made everything a lot worse by running around like an idiot thinking I was just fine. When I got back, I was like, what did I do? How did I get this hurt? I didn't do that much. I didn't fall over. I didn't do anything stupid. And it was just an addition of a bunch of different stupid things that was the worst pain I've ever suffered through in my life and took years to heal from. And Dr. Mike brought up that this great equation, and it's force to time equals a change in momentum to an object. That's the physics formula, right? And how that works is, if you're in a car accident, it's a 1 second hit, right? And you're hit at 60 miles an hour. And so your injury, the force of change to the object being your body, will devastate you. It's no question a big T trauma, right? But if you take a lot of time and add together a lot of very small events, you can end up with the same level of injury. And that's what happened to my back. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with this phrasing, so we're going to go over some stuff. There are two kinds of trauma, big T and little t. Obviously, 9/11, having just gone through that anniversary as well, that's a big T. That's the one that propelled me into panic attacks. But it was certainly not the only T that I was carrying around in my grab bag of trauma. Little T's are relative to you. So maybe some guy catcalls you on the street. Well, to me, that's like, whatever, it's Tuesday. To you, that might spiral you into a triggered pattern, and be devastating to you. But it doesn't matter if I think it's a big T or a little t, or if it's even a T at all. The small T's are the ones a lot of times that sneak past us and we don't know that they're having an effect on us. So I went through two sets of a therapy that's referred to as EMDR. That's eye movement desensitization and reprogramming. It's a newer type of therapy, but scientifically has a lot of legs, and I encourage you to go out and do your own research about it. But what it does is it gets into, you spend time with your therapist working out what the talk therapy version of traumas are. You also talk therapy afterwards, but in the sessions, you go through with a stimulus to cross between your left and right sides of the brain. And you walk back through the situations that were traumatizing to you. And you figure out from the person you are now, you get to go back and visit that time. Things are always revealed. It's kind of, I always say it's kind of like a Matlock episode or a Columbo, where you as the audience member get to know who did it and how they did it and what they were hiding and what the motivations were. But it's revealed throughout the course of the show. And the same sort of thing happens when you're going through EMDR therapy, where you get to go back and make sense of something that happened to you. Sometimes, I know for myself, many times I thought that I was carrying a responsibility for something, but in truth, that portion wasn't my fault. Now, the trick with either big T's or little t's is that you will continue to repeat a pattern related to that trauma until you sort this out. And the side effects of that are a lot of addiction issues, rage, the things that I'm constantly talking about, and a lot of the things I'm in recovery for. You can also build up a high tolerance towards abuse. You will keep yourself in bad situations because you think that that's the best that you deserve. And that's just not true. So, I'm still working on mine. It's not all solved. Doing my work as a professional organizer, I also found a lot of pleasure, joy, and there's a lot to be said about dumping out a junk drawer and cleaning it out and figuring out if you need everything in there. Throw the stuff away that's not useful anymore. The next time you open up the drawer, just like the next time you open up a trauma memory, if you've made sense of it, it's not as traumatizing anymore. And that's ongoing work, and it can take a lot of time, but it takes effort and energy too. And just like I would not encourage anybody to do their own back surgery to get that healed, I do not encourage doing trauma work for yourself either. I am going to share a link to Abdul Saad. He is in Australia, and he has a great set of series about EMDR and empaths and narcissists and all kinds of fun things. But today I'm going to leave you with a quote that I'm going to read. So I'm going to pick this up right here. And this is from Catherine Woodweiss. This is the big scary truth about trauma. There is no such thing as getting over it. The 5 stages of grief model marks universal stages in learning to accept loss. But the reality is, in fact, much bigger. A major life disruption leaves a new normal in its wake. There is no back to the old me. You are different now. Full stop. This is not wholly a negative thing. Healing from trauma can also mean finding new strength and joy. The goal of healing is not a papering over of changes in an effort to preserve or present things as normal. It is to acknowledge and wear your new life, warts, wisdom, and all, with courage. So, we're back to be brave, do some journaling, check out Abdul Saad. Refer yourself to an EMDR therapist if you're really struggling. I highly recommend it. And the magic is you process through this stuff in your REM sleep. It's a very scientifically valid. It's not just spending a lot of time in a room with a therapist just chit-chatting, which can also be helpful. But in some cases, if you've tried that and that hasn't worked, this is certainly something that I would recommend as a next step. Remember, don't ever give up. So thanks again for spending some time with me today in Caddyland. I am off to bartend at Commonwealth, and I had a lovely couple of days off. I got some sun. I went to the gym. I cooked some food. I ate some salad. Talked to some friends on the phone. Life is good. So have a great day. We'll do it again tomorrow. Bye.